There we go. There we go. Hello, Charlotte. I
Hi
totally
there.
cleaned up the tabs on my browser to present and removed myself from the webinar. Um,
Ah,
but there we go. Okay, so I won't do that again. Um, good. All right. So, welcome everyone. Where's everyone from? Do you have a few responses?
I'm checking now. We seem to have any. No, I don't have
Oh,
anybody that has said where they're from yet.
okay. There's a little
Yeah,
chat thing you can put in the chat.
yeah.
Okay.
As far as our whole 30 thing, we've got 4 votes for yes, another 30% no, and thinking about it, 30% as well. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, we'll talk. So here's the plan, guys. First of all, are you recording, Charlene? Everything
I have
recording?
pushed record, yes.
Fantastic. Welcome everyone to the webinar for Real Plans. In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to be showing you Real Plans itself, and then we can have a look and show around. And this webinar is a basic walkthrough of Real Plans, and you can see everything. And we will also touch on Whole 30 too, because we had a lot of Whole 30ers join us in the last week. I think they had, done a recent message out to the public, and that's why we have all of those people. So welcome to Real Plans. And also, if you're not part of Real Plans and you're just checking it out, you'll get a lot out of this too, I hope. So you can do stuff. Okay, that's my 30 seconds. Okay, so that's what we look like. I'm Anthony, co-founder, and in Los Angeles. And there's Charlene, who's in South Africa. Everything okay, Charlene?
We do seem to have some people saying they can't see us, so I'm not sure if there's a way for them to, is there something they should push?
Oh, okay, let's have a look. I'm sharing my screen right now, and on that screen sharing, they should see our faces. That's all it is. It's not a Zoom call.
Jennifer says she can see us now, so it's fine. Okay.
Yay! Hello, Jennifer. This is what I look like. I don't think I'll ever see what you look like, but this is what's going on. And this is a logo that I made. It's kind of squishy, and I made it from going to a fabric store and making it. They happen to have our brand colors in the fabric store. It's pretty cool. Okay, enough talk. Let's go on to Real Plans. All right, so this is Real Plans here. Most of you will know this already, but you'll have been presented with a meal plan, and really what we want to do is we want to go into understanding how to set up the meal plan in the first place so that it really makes sense for you. But this is an editable meal plan, so everything's just a recommendation. You can move things around, you can take things out, you can do whatever you like. But let's go and hit this cog over here. You see this? I'm going to go and click on that. And when I go into here, it's got some information about, my profile and stuff. But this is the most interesting part. I was showing someone the vegetarian logic earlier. But in here, you can pick from various dietary restrictions here. And I'm going to go really simple. I'm going to just say gluten-free. Now, a meal plan is made up of a diet type and a schedule. So I clicked on the cog, I went to my meal plan, and then I went in here. Now, this is where I can exclude all kinds of different things. Now, if I click on this button here, advanced dietary restrictions, you'll see that it's already figured out that I shouldn't be eating gluten. Gluten-free. Very good. Now, you can also choose to exclude anything else you like. I think the only thing we don't allow you to exclude, because it's not on here, are vegetables. Because you can't include vegetables, otherwise there's no real food. So basically here you can just, say any of this stuff, you can decide what you want to not have. So let's say that you're a family that's gluten-free and you don't dig on mollusks. There we go. A molluskless, gluten-free diet. And also maybe inside of the set of vegetables, you might not be too keen on, either a food group here, like, yeah, well, we don't do nightshades, or we don't do mushrooms, or maybe inside of, that you can just, I'm not into asparagus, maybe. Don't give me an asparagus bake. So you can select anything to do with asparagus and move that over. So everything on the right is what you've excluded. Everything on the left is what you're still going to eat. And you can play with this to your heart's content. So this really is a diet for all people because you can make it do whatever you want. Now, I encourage you to consider as a family or as a unit or however you're set up, even if you're living on your own, there's stuff you can't eat and then there's stuff you don't want to eat. And add the stuff you don't want to eat. I mean, if you've got a super fussy kid, we can talk about that later on if someone asks a question. And please do ask questions whenever you want. We'll have a Q&A at the end. But it's what you don't want to eat and stick in there too. And then we'll make sure that we don't serve you anything you don't want. So there we go. So I'm going to save that. My molluskless, asparagusless, gluten-free diet. And which is a bit of a mouthful, but we just call it gluten-free. So in here, we've got a schedule. The schedule is saying how often do you actually want to cook? What volume of recipes do you want through the week? And what kind of recipes do you want too? So we can get into that. So here, the most obvious is serving size. When you cook something, how many people should it be for? So, we default it to 4. And then how many dinners do you want to cook? How many different recipes do you want to cook? A lot of people pick 3 or 4 and then click on this leftover thing here, which says, well, if I'm going to cook, I might as well make double and then I can have it, the next day. Now, the difference between these two is for each leftover portion that you create, how many portions do you want it to be? Because some people will cook for 4 people in the evening and then they only want to cook for 2 people the following lunch because maybe the kids are away. And well, back in the day when kids used to go to school, you'd imagine that just like the parents would. But, so that's what that is. And then this here is if you want multiple leftovers, maybe you want 2 leftovers from, one meal. So that would be a portion size of 12. We'll keep it like this though. So then you have some different options about what you want to do for lunch. I'm going to be really easy and just say I'm going to eat leftovers from dinner. And then breakfast. So you can have some different things, but I'm going to go a different route on this webinar. I'm going to say that I'm going to buy a few things for breakfast. So I'm going to grab a few ingredients every week and I'm going to make my breakfast a little ad hoc. So I don't need recipes for breakfast. Okay, so there we go. Now, customized scheduling takes all of this information here, sticks it into here for you, and into here, then you can add extra things if you like. Say, wow, this is pretty cool. Yeah. You know what? On a Friday night, I'm going to add one more thing. And in there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the filters. And in here, you can go really crazy. You can say, I want this recipe every Friday night. What else can you say? Oh, I'd like a kind of a Latin meal. My favorite example is I want something that I can make on the grill every Friday night, right? So there's my plan. So you can really go quite crazy. You can see here how you have 8 portions of something we're going to cook Sunday night, and we're going to have some leftovers here from Sunday dinner the following day. You don't have to click on this button if you don't want, if you find that a little intimidating. But some people really like to dial in exactly how the meal plan should suggest things. So I click save and update my plan. And now what it's doing is it's saying, okay, with that diet, let's schedule some food and put it in here. So now when I go into here, now I have, I'm up and running. Southwestern chili. That's pretty cool. And it knew to stick some cornbread on the side. Oh, nice. So you see here, it's got some served withs in here. And maybe you want to kind of add some more stuff. Maybe we'll make some guacamole that night as well. And we'll have some leftover guacamole for that lunch. Okay, so we'll do that too. There we go. So I'm adjusting as I go. This is pretty cool. All right, so there's a plan. Now, this is just a suggestion. And I think that this is one of the biggest points I want to make, is that it's much easier to edit someone else's email You know, you're like, oh, I don't quite know how to phrase this. And you send it, and someone, you go, let me help you there. Blah, blah, blah. This is kind of what we're doing. We're inspiring you, showing you some new recipes that you might be into. But you might just want to pick your favorites and stick a few in there as well. And so you can do it like this. Watch. So simple veggie soup. No, strike that. But I do want, let's have a look here. Well, I've already marked some favorites, and you mark favorites by going here and clicking on the little thumbs up here. This Italian chicken and rice is amazing. Has no mollusks in it, no asparagus. And that's why my diet is set like that. Look, let's look at some entrees here. And of all the entrees, let's get something that's, I don't know, I only need 15 minutes to make it. All right, brilliant. Grilled salmon, that'll do nicely. And then you can click on it. See, I just dragged it from there to there. And by the way, all of this is sitting also on an iPhone and an Android. Everything I'm showing you is sitting on there too. So any changes that you make and all of this stuff you can do with one thumb if you want. And so here it is. Look, here's it on my phone. And here's my meal plan. And then you can just click on the shopping list and it will show you a shopping list. So this is really useful because you don't want to walk around, obviously, the shops while you're checking off ingredients without your phone. Or even if in the kitchen before you head out, you may want to, check the shopping list. So this is cool. All right, I'm gonna have green bean salad with that. There we go. No leftovers. We'll just have that. There we go. Super. So all the while that you're doing all of this stuff and you've created your meal plan, the shopping list in the background, so I'm just clicking view shopping list here, tells you everything that you need. Now this shopping list, of course, integrates all of the ingredients for the recipes that you have on the plan. So we count them all up. Back when we did PDFs, Charlene, who's our longest serving employee, right? We've been working the longest, 8 years, something like that. 9 years. She's counting the apples from this recipe and this recipe, counting them up. And I mean, we did a good job, but every now and then, there'd always be one thing that we get wrong, right, Charlene? It's almost impossible to get right.
Totally.
And also, it's a PDF that's gone out to lots of people. So you're like, oh. But anyway, this is a computer, does pretty good, and it puts it all together. So we were very excited when we launched Real Plans. We said, here's a shopping list. Look, check it out. There's a shopping list with all the stuff on it. And there we go. And people said, oh. We're like, what? What could possibly be wrong? And they said, well, the trouble is that I bought a huge bucket of tomato sauce, right at the beginning of the year. I don't need that. I've got a huge stacks of it. I went to Costco and I bought a bunch. Stop telling me to buy tomatoes every week. Okay, we said we'll give you a flag for that. Always have it. So that means that ingredient will always go straight to got it. Oh look, and there's Instacart if you want Instacart to get you everything. And then there was another argument, and remember I was saying about breakfasts, how I want to get some ingredients? Wouldn't it be cool if you could ask Real Plans to say, okay, every week, let's make sure that I've got some bacon. So I just put in some bacon here, add ingredient to shopping list every week. So this means now that if you add that, this means now that you have bacon in your shopping list every week. What else have I got? Oh, garlic powder. I check to make sure that I've got garlic powder every week and that I have bananas every week. It doesn't mean that you go and buy bananas every week. It means that you take bananas probably, but garlic powder, now that's a good example. But I want to make sure that I have garlic powder. So what I do is I have my list like this, and I walk around with my phone around the kitchen. I literally do this, and so does everyone. And you walk around the kitchen and you go, all right, got garlic powder, got that. Because what you don't want to do is when you get to the store and go, ooh, herbs, what do I need? And then your mind goes blank, and then you get in this mode of hoarding, like, oh, I'll just get it in case, or I can't afford it, and do I need it or not? I don't want to have two. So this is a good aid memoir that says, yes, I already did it. So I checked it off, so I don't need to get it. Okay, so that's the shopping list. There's also a timeline in here as well. It tells you what to do when. And so I'll go back to the planner over here. And there you have it. I know, and if you want to look at the nice pictures, you can click minimize here. It look like that. So you can just see all the pictures. Isn't that pretty? There we go. So anyway, so that's one way of dealing with things. Now, there's more things that you can do. How's everybody doing? Could you just give a little note in the comments and see if you're still with us and excited about real plans? And if you have any specific, is there any specific questions already, Charlene, that anyone's asked, or are we good? Should I just
We're
roll
good.
on?
We're good. Just
We're good?
roll on, I
Okay.
think.
All right. Okay, good. So here's the next thing. Now, I've shown you the kind of standard way of creating a meal plan. You go into settings and then you go into this my meal plan, and then you go and do your diet and your schedule. But what if, you look at all this and you say to yourself, well, I don't know about all of this. I'm thinking I want to kind of just reset, just show me something different. You can just go here and rerun your meal plan. So you click that, and it'll overwrite what's already there and create something completely different. Now, does this look better? Oh, yes, there we go. Nice. Oh, and I've got that grilled chicken. That looks good for the grill, right? So there's that way of doing things. Another way is to do this: clear the planner completely. Good. All right. I've checked off some recipes that I really like. I'm going to go and grab them right now. This is my favorite chicken pot pie crumble that I've Instagrammed about a number of times. This guy here's got almond flour that you make to make the kind of the nice chicken pot pie stuff. And then you can just create your own plan, but it creates this shopping list. This is what's so important, is the procurement of the ingredients and making sure you get the right things. What about this? This is something that happened during the pandemic, or because at the beginning of the pandemic, we thought, because I went to the shops to go and shop my meal plan, and there was no carrots and there was no fresh garlic. And I was thinking, this is going to be problematic. And then I went to the middle of the store and there was absolutely nothing. So we thought, what are we going to do? And we thought, I know, let's build this thing called My Pantry. So this is what My Pantry does. You go in here, this is the little checkbox over here. You put in the ingredients you already have, and then we'll tell you which recipes you can already make. So this is a completely different way of thinking. This is taking the inventory you currently have in your kitchen, and then so you can go in here. Oh, and we're using this concept of grouping ingredients together. If you have cooked any of these, it'll probably work in different recipes. A different treatment of ground. Please give me a different treatment of shredded beef. I'm just putting, powdered garlic and powdered onion together with some beef and then calling it dinner. But there may be some different, Moroccan style or this style or that style that you can apply, because you might have the herbs sitting there. And then you can see the available recipes. Now here, there's a great little link that says, if you click on this link, it'll tell you what else you should get to unlock more recipes. So this would be a good way to target some of your shopping and to figure out, how you can have the widest variety of share. And it just means that you go to the shops list and you're also using up all the ingredients that you currently have. And if you're trying to use up ingredients, say you got let's say you did get some carrots, and then the following week you're like, what can I do with some carrots? You can just put carrot in here, like that. Now I'm going to uncheck this light one here. And then let's go and have a look at everything that's to do with carrots. There we go. Carrot lime soup. Very nice. And then you can still take things down and say, oh, let's have a look at anything that has something to do with carrot in there. So then you're looking at things that mention carrots somewhere in the recipe. So there are lots and lots of ways of getting to recipes, scheduling them in here, and you can either have an automated plan or you can just make up your own. But we like the automated plan, and it's a good starting point. And then over here in the recipe box, this recipe box is the same as what you've just seen on the meal plan, but it just has nice, big, pretty pictures. And you can see the light on the chicken marbella there. It just looks like that's a good thing. Oh, that's my daughter. wanting to speak to her on FaceTime. So there we go. So we have lots of different ways of doing stuff. And what's cool about this screen is that you can go in and you can also import recipes over here. So here's where I would import from website, and I can put in any URL. And if it's a well-formed page, the recipe will go in, or you can just do it manually and you can kind of manually bring stuff in. Okay, good. So I would say that you all have a diploma in real plans at this point, if you have got this far to this point in the webinar. Let's flick over now and talk a little bit about Whole30. So I've already got Whole30 linked to my account, and I'm going to switch it on right now. There we go. And oh, and by the way, there's a whole section on macros as well. You can buy the macro tracker, and you can have macro-driven, like calorie-driven meal plans if you want, still with your dietary restrictions. So here you go. Here's the Whole30. So you decide when you want to start. So instead of my meal plan, if you remember, now it says Whole30 meal plan. Do that, Whole30. Now, even with the Whole30, you can still not have the asparagus. You can have an asparagusless Whole30 if you want. So you can still mess with the diet. We're giving you the official Whole30 diet, and then you can add to it all you want. So you're picking a day, you're doing this, you're saving it, and then you're updating your plan, and then off you go. So that's one way that you can Whole30. And then you've got the planner here, and then what happens is that you'll see day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Now we're giving you food beforehand because, you know, this is in real time. And so we give you food throughout the week, but this is your Whole30 if you're counting. And if you can go to the next week over here, and then we calculate the next week for you, make sure we don't give you the same things over and over again. And then you can kind of play around with this one. So you can plan your whole Whole30 out. The other thing is part of Whole30, if I go over here, is you can use templates as well. So the headquarters at Whole30 had come up with 3 really good templates that are quite prescriptive in that, you know, they have like little notes and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, actually. Let's say I wanted to start again on the 5th, overwrite the existing plan, and off I go. And when you apply that template, now what it's doing is it's applying all 4 weeks of that template into my meal plan. And then that will allow me to, you know, see what headquarters deem to be a good plan. So there it is, all 4 there. And then I can just go to the planner, and then I'll see kind of what's being. And they have like lots of little notes, which is really cool. And they talk about tiger blood and all that kind of stuff. And so there's notes built into the meal plan, which is another good way. And finally, there's this reintroduction part 2, which is not to be forgotten, is that, you know, having got through your Whole30, congratulations if you've already done one, then you've got your reintroduction here where you can choose the this fast track one where you can say, okay, on this day, I would like to have, you know, I would like to introduce some legumes or what have you. And then we'll give you recipes that will help you reintroduce that stuff, those food groups and those food types back into your diet. And that's really about it. Oh, one more thing I really want to help people with is this one here. When you go down to the meal plan, same in my meal plan, there's an advanced settings tab. Down here, just make sure that you've said, you'll have told us already, mostly like when you buy real plans, but make sure that if you have any changes to your equipment in your kitchen, you set this up, you change it. And that means that we can start or stop deploying recipes for you, giving you recipes in your meal plan, scheduling rather is the right verb, recipes in your meal plan for stuff that you can or can't do. There is nothing more annoying than getting all the ingredients at the store, coming back, and the instruction number 1 is, get your pressure cooker out. And you think, oh. So let us help you with this equipment. Charlene, I think that's everything I've got to say. Is there anything that you think I should add, or are there any questions?
I don't feel like we really went over the pantry section, if anyone's interested.
Oh, no, I mentioned the pantry a little earlier, like the different ingredients and stuff. Is that what you mean?
Okay. Yeah.
No.
did we go over all of that? Okay, I have been answering some questions, so I might
Oh,
have
okay.
missed that.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, I do have a couple of questions if you'd like to take those.
Absolutely. Yeah. Who are they from?
Okay. So Jennifer has an interesting one. How do I know when I need to pre-make an item like fermented fries that need a few days to ferment?
Great question. So what we do is we give you a timeline. So if you have something you need to defrost or something like that, you can go to the timeline here, and that you actually set up alerts on the mobile app. We can set up alerts for you as well, and it'll say, do this. And here you can see it saying defrost the chicken thighs if frozen. If there's any other different ones, marinate the chicken. Or overnight. So this is giving you the night before it's scheduled to actually make sure that you've done the marinating and stuff like that. So we thought that one through. Yeah.
Yep. And when you overwrite a meal plan, does it do all or just a certain week? That is from Shannon.
Hi, Shannon. How are you doing? I know I can't hear you, but I'm just pretending that we're saying hi. In this era of the pandemic, I think everybody just wants to get as much human contact as humanly possible. So the situation there with the
Overwriting.
The overwriting of the meal plan is that we ask you when you make a change. Oh, go back to here. I'll go off to here. It's going to override just the either it's going to override everything or it's going to not override the current week. So let's say I make a little change here. I'm going to have like 5 meals a week like this. I click save, and then when you're making that kind of change, it's going to update the whole plan for Whole30. But if you're normally, there'll be a message here that would say, do you want to update the whole plan, or do you want to just update keep the current week and update the future ones? That's what I was trying to demonstrate. But this one, in this instance, it's updating the whole plan. Anything else?
Any plans to add more services other than Instacart? My national chains all offer their own pickup services. That's from Michelle.
Yes, if you have someone who you want us to work with, then give us an introduction. Let us know. If anyone knows Mr. Bezos and knows how we can get Amazon Fresh going, we'll do it. Because we think that we want to. We've already applied like a couple of times to get them to do it, but they're very busy. So it's a question of, it's not for lack of wanting to do it. It's more a case of just speaking to the right person in the right department to just let us have access to that API, which is the thing that let the machines talk. So yes, we have plans for doing lots of those in the future.
Great. On the pantry function, does it allow you to place the amounts of items that you have in your pantry? And that's from Sherry.
Sherry, thank you for asking that question. The reason why I didn't do my pantry for many years is because of that one dilemma. I was like, how are we going to manage the inventory of people's food in real plans? Because, I got 12 eggs. Tell me how much I can cook. So we started trying to implement it, and there were so many reasons why it was going to fall apart. Not least because your teenage son goes in and makes 3 fried egg sandwiches in the middle of the night, and then you go to do the recipe the next day, and there's no tracking in real plans about how many eggs are actually in your fridge. So this is what we implemented, and it seems to work pretty well. So what's interesting here is that I'm in the Whole30, and these are now Whole30 recipes that are being shown, Whole30 compliant recipes. So I click on that, and then up in here it shows me my my pantry recipes that I can make, right? Now, look, fried eggs. It's like it almost listened to me, except unlike Siri and Google and all that stuff, we don't have any listening technology at Real Plans, don't worry. Your conversations are private. We're not listening to you saying eggs and then serving you up eggs, okay? Just so you know, we're not that clever. So So let's show you this egg situation. Right, so there's the fried eggs. Now, when I bring the fried eggs in, watch what happens. It says, check the pantry ingredients you will no longer have after cooking the fried eggs. It's really straightforward. So if you say, you know what, I'm no longer going to have eggs because I'm going to use them all up, then it does that and it readjusts your available recipes so that now it's only going to show you 15 recipes that are available as opposed to the 18 that we had before. And that seems to be a much happier system for everyone, that you're eyeballing it, so to speak, and saying, I'm sure in the future, they've already tried to do fridges that have barcodes and tell you the quantity of stuff. But honestly, how much do you exactly know of how many ounces of goat's cheese are in that half-eaten packet in the fridge? I think this is where there's a line between, you guys are super intelligent. I mean, you're all like professionals in something and experts in something. And we want to leave a lot of kind of common sense in here as well. But when a computer is good at doing something like listening to how often and what diet and all that kind of stuff, it's really good at that stuff. So I hope that answers your question.
I think that's all of the questions for now, unless anyone else has something else to add. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. So I do have one more thing to tell you, and it's this. If you've made it 30 minutes into this webinar, you deserve to hear this thing. The reason that we're doing this is to help people eat good food and to inspire them to cook. That's why we do it. It's an altruistic thing that we're up to. We're trying to get people to be inspired to consistently eat good food over a long period. Now, we also know that this is a crazy time, that this is a pandemic. Certainly in the US here, there's just huge amounts of unemployment, and there's going to be more to come. And we want to support that. So if you are struggling financially, and there's no embarrassment over that, it's just, it's snakes and ladders right now. If you happen to have a company that is in trouble because of the pandemic, because it requires people meeting together, then it's difficult. And let us know, let support know, support@realplans.com. And we will transfer you over to a free account so that you can just use Real Plans, because if there's ever a time to have a solid immune system, it's now. And in my book, How to Have a Solid Immune System is to eat good food. And not just the food itself, but the fact that you prepare it with love and you hand it to your loved ones and everything else. It's very important to us that this does reach as many people as possible. We don't publicly announce this on our homepage, and say, oh, well, this kind of stuff because it's up for fraud and, whatever. But if you've reached this far in a webinar, you've been very interested in Real Plans and you're trying to figure out how to make it work. And so I wanted to kind of offer that out to you. And there you have it. So thank you so much for listening. Charlene, thank you so much for co-hosting in South Africa there.
It's been great.
And I think we'll wrap it up there. Bye-bye, everyone. And I hope you have a good day. Take care.
Bye, everyone.